following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into a Tuesday edition of Main Street Sports. Today on the program, this Tuesday, we'll be joined by Chris Lee of Southeastern 14, talk a little SEC baseball, the Tennessee Vols, maybe even Mike Concho, you never know. Tampa Bay Bandits, BRUNO, REAGAN talks USFL opening weekend. That's coming up. Also, Chip Walters in studio. That's right. Chip will be here with us in studio in the Dimple of the Universe, plus the Braves. The daily reports from the two biggest fans this side of the Duck River. And it is Top 5 Tuesday, most iconic numbers in sports. All that straight ahead on this Tuesday edition, April 12th of Main Street Sports Today. Now to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama. Here's Chris Howe.
Welcome into a Top 5 Tuesday edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I am Chris Yao, joined as always by the Hall of Famer, Mo Patton. Since we don't have halftime today, can our top story be set? Because we're going to have BRUNO REAGAN probably through halftime. So can my top story today be what I was going to use for halftime? Can we just do that? I just want to throw this out there.
I mean, we've got a top story, but go ahead. 22
years, 30 years, almost to the month that it was released. Tish Cyrus is breaking Billy Ray's Achy Breaky Heart. Isn't that sad? 30 years to nearly the month. She planned this, right? 30th anniversary of your biggest or second biggest hit, I guess, technically. and I'm gonna break your achy breaky heart. That's so sad, man. Anyway, feel bad for old Billy Ray.
No. Yeah, Billy Ray's doing just fine.
There ain't no doubt there.
Billy Ray's doing just fine.
Anyway, all right, let's do our quick top story because obviously we want to recognize when we can the AD from our friends up at Vanderbilt University, Candace Story Lee, getting a little Hall of Fame honors herself, Mo.
Yeah, getting a little love in our hometown. Yeah, Candace Story Lee inducted into the Huntsville/Madison County Athletic Sports Hall of Fame during a ceremony last night down in Huntsville. Pretty big honor for her and much deserved. Played her high school ball at Bob Jones, where she averaged for her career a double-double. 19 points, 19 boards. Alabama's Gatorade Player of the Year her senior year in 1997. Obviously went on to play basketball at Vanderbilt. Part of 5 NCAA tournament teams over 6 seasons because she had a couple of knee injuries, and the NCAA gave her a rare 6 year of eligibility. So, and she liked Vanderbilt so much she just stuck around.
Hey, so good for her.
Was she on that Final Four team, Mo?
No, that was a little bit before her. No, that Final Four team was in '93. She would have been a 8th grader. So, no, she was not on that team, but she was on some pretty good teams. Back in the 90s when Vanderbilt women's basketball was good.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jim Foster at the helm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, congratulations to Candace. Got to hang out with her for a little bit over at MTSU at the WNIT, what was that, quarterfinal game, I guess it was?
It was.
Sure.
So, yeah. Oh. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Actually, I think it was the Sweet 16 because they had an extra.
I think you're right.
One extra than the men.
Yeah, because Toledo was the quarters, Seton Hall was the semis.
Yep.
Yeah. Sweet 16. My bad. Anyway, again, congratulations to her. And so with no further ado, I guess we'll kick it back to JP.
Yeah, sure. We can certainly do that. Let's give.
You got something else you want to do?
No, I was just going to say that the year after she left, Bob Jones holds the record for most points given up in a game. 143 in a girls' basketball game. They lost to Butler.
Oh, my goodness.
That was the year after she left. So
yeah, Candace, I ain't had nothing to do with that. Yeah.
But it just goes to show how important she was to that program.
Clearly. Yeah.
Anyway, let's send it back to JP for today's rundown.
This is the Rundown.
Let's do it.
This is your Tuesday Rundown brought to you by Jim Davis at Grow Live Give. Visit them at growlivegive.com or give them a call at 615-682-0022. Securities offered through IFP Securities, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, IFP member, FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through IFP Advisors, LLC, DBA Independent Financial Partners, Registered Investment Advisor. IFP and Grow Live Give are not affiliated.
All right, here we go. In high school baseball from yesterday, it was Collinwood shutting out Hampshire 3-0. Columbia Academy 12-6 winners over Gordonsville. Page over Tullahoma 7-6. Lawrence County down Spring Hill 8-7. Summertown 11-3 winners over Giles County. High school softball, Columbia Academy blanking BGA 16-0. Wayne County shutting out Loretto 3-0. High school boys soccer on the pitch yesterday. Brentwood 2-0 over Page. Laverne 6-0 over Lebanon. Valor Collegiate 2-1 over Spring Hill. And Zion Christian 7-1 over Colioca. National League Baseball, it was the Braves falling to the Nationals 11-2 last night. As we flip to today's schedule in high school sports, baseball, Columbia Academy at Independence.
Nope.
These are 4 p.m.
Columbia Central.
at Independence at 4 p.m. These are 4 p.m. starts. Check your local listings as always. Westmoreland at Smith County. It is Murfreesboro Central Magnet at Glencliff. At 4:30, NBA Brentwood Academy, also Hume Fogg at Maplewood. Pearl Cone welcomes East Nashville. It is Clarksville Academy at Davidson Academy. Father Ryan at Innsworth, Nashville Christian at 5, hosting Good Pasture at 5:30. Trio games, Mount Juliet Christian at Ezel Harding, Collinwood at Hampshire, and Richland at Wayne County. At 6, these games will throw out their first pitch. Green Hill at Wilson Central, Watertown hosting Cannon County, Riverdale at Siegel, Hunters Lane at Gallatin, Santa Fe at Colioca, Friendship Christian at DCA. That is a 6:30 start. Also at 6:30 includes Fairview at Harpeth, Stewart's Creek at Smyrna, Dixon County hosting Clarksville. It is Franklin Road Academy at BGA, MTCS hosting Grace Christian, Page at Tullahoma. Oakland at Blackman, and Lewis County at Mount Pleasant, 6 o'clock starts. John Overton at Brentwood, 6:30. Also at 6:30, Loretto at Wilson from Alabama. It is MLK hosting Hillwood. Rossview travels to McCracken County in Kentucky. Lipscomb Academy at Pope John Paul II. Also 6:30 tonight, Nolensville hosting Ravenwood. Columbia at Independence. West Creek at Kenwood. Cane Ridge at Laverne. Lawrence County hosting Spring Hill. Summertown at Giles County. Columbia Academy at CPA. At 7 tonight, White House will be at Greenbrier. Springfield welcomes Clarksville Northwest. McGavick at Station Camp. Beach hosts Hendersonville. White House Heritage at Cheatham County. Cookeville hosting Lebanon. Centennial at Hillsboro. Eagleville at Rockville. Check local listings for those start times. In softball this afternoon, 4:30 first pitch includes several games. St. Cecilia Academy at Brentwood Academy. Friendship Christian at Clarksville Academy. Father Ryan at Innsworth Good Pasture hosts Nashville Christian. And Webb School hosts Mount Juliet Christian. Lipscomb Academy will be at Harpeth Hall. At 5 this afternoon, Franklin Road Academy is at Columbia Academy. Colioca hosts Richland. Portland at Greenbrier. White House Heritage at Fairview. MTCS hosts Murfreesboro Central. Loretto will be at Lewis County. Ravenwood hosting Columbia. Mount Pleasant at Summertown. 5:30 first pitch includes Ezel Harding at DCA. Stewart's Creek at Cane Ridge. Joe Burns welcomes Kenwood. Springfield travels to Rossview. Clarksville will be hosting in town, Clarksville Northeast. Laverne at Antioch. These are 6, by the way. Laverne at Antioch. Cornersville hosting Colioca. Hunters Lane and Station Camp Gallatin welcomes Hendersonville. At 6:30, it'll be Lebanon at Blackman. Green Hill at Wilson Central. Lawrence County at Mars Hill Bible. That's out of Alabama. Also at 6:30, Siegel at Oakland and Rockvale at Riverdale. At 7 tonight, Marshall County at Page. Wayne County at Santa Fe. And in boys soccer on the pitch this afternoon, 4:30 first touch will be Knoxville At Grace Christian Knoxville at Providence Christian. 5 p.m. will be Nashville Christian at Davidson Academy. At 5, also Columbia Academy at Franklin Road Academy. Watertown hosting York Institute at 5:30. Also at 5:30 is Smyrna and Murfreesboro Central Magnet. At 6, Wilson Central at Gallatin. Lawrence County hosts Giles County. CPA at Lipscomb Academy. Blackman at Rockvale. Clarksville host Northeast hosting West Creek. It'll be at 6:30, MLK at Glencliff, Hume Falk hosting Green Hill. At 7 tonight, Henry County at Dixon County, Laverne and Mount Juliet. Oakland hosting Riverdale, Clarksville at Springfield, Siegel at Stewart's Creek, Columbia at Summit. Also Westmoreland hosting Merrill Hyde, Fairview at White House Heritage. And playing today, no time scheduled, Greenbrier at Macon County.
Just whenever they get there.
Sure. Oftentimes that's how it happens. Check your local list. Check your local front office.
Yeah, there you go.
Of the schools. All right. Elsewhere in Division I college baseball, it is Tennessee Tech at Tennessee at 5:30 this evening. Vanderbilt hosting Western Kentucky at the Hawk. Lipscomb will be at MTSU tonight at 6, and at 3 today, Belmont is down in Tuscaloosa to take on the Tide of Alabama. Division II, Trevecca is at Lee at 5 o'clock. In the MLB, Nationals and the Braves, Game 2, 6:20. Bruce Elder on the mound. It is Bruce. Bryce, thank you. Bruce.
Call him Bruce.
There's a Bruce. Hey,
Bruce, former Vanderbilt basketball
that's why it was stuck in my head. It grained. War number 5, by the way. 6:20 on Bally Sports Southeast, Game 2. The Preds host the Shark tonight at 7. Also, Bally Sports South. And that is your Tuesday rundown. Again, brought to you by Jim Davis, GrowLiveGive.com.
Oh, Bruce. I mean, based on the last couple of days, I'm not sure it could be any worse. So
Bruce Bryce.
Yeah. I just assumed
Leon,
Bruce
Lyon.
I just assumed throw Bruce at this point because
why not?
I mean. Anyway, we'll talk about the Braves later. We got Chris Lee coming up to talk about some SEC baseball with Southeastern 14, so y'all stick around here. Main Street Sports Day presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint returns after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. It is Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Thanks for sticking around through those messages from our fine sponsors. We appreciate you. The two of you that did stick around, the other three left us. It's okay. Mo, before we get into our guest here, I wanted to mention this because I thought it was very interesting as I'm scrolling through Twitter during our break, as we are wont to do. It appears that Tennessee Tech and Tennessee will not only be playing tonight, obviously, but they will be playing at the home of the Knoxville Smokies, and
Correct.
they will be using wood bats. So that should be that should make for an interesting dynamic, because obviously Tennessee, known for its power, playing in what's likely to be a much larger stadium and using bats that don't pop as much. I'm very curious to see how this goes.
Yeah, I mean, I think a number of people will be curious to see how this goes. Again, Tennessee's power is, it speaks for itself, and a number of people have, wanted to attribute it to a smaller facility, never mind the home runs that they've hit on the road. But it'll be interesting to see how the ball flies at Smoky Stadium over there in Sevier County with them swinging wood. So I think a lot of people will be paying, for a midweek game. I think there will be some attention paid to this ball game for that reason. So,
Chris, because you brought it up yesterday about Tennessee fans and perhaps them, when that next loss comes, if it does, we assume it probably will. Baseball says that
87-1, baby.
What if it happens here using wood bats?
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking is, are they trying to lose?
Let's get it out of the way.
Like,
with an asterisk. Get it out of the way with an asterisk.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, again, I think there is something to be said for, not going into the postseason with one loss, and they're just putting up video game numbers right now. So maybe they're just trying to challenge themselves a little bit.
Yeah. Look, if you called me and I'm at Tennessee Tech and you say, "Hey guys, we're thinking about using wood bats this weekend. Oh, and we're going to play at the minor league stadium instead. What y'all think about that?" Heck yes. Oh, come on, that was good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would have been absolutely all over that.
Well, I mean, Tennessee Tech might say, "Fine, y'all use wood bats all you want to. We're playing by NCAA rules."
I wonder if that can't be a problem. I mean, I can't imagine that they would have an issue with using wood bats.
No. I mean, if you want to dampen down your offense, by all means, feel free. But yeah, I would imagine they will both be using wood bats tonight, and like I said, I think it will be interesting to see how it goes.
No question. We've got Chris Lee coming up here in just a few minutes, and I don't, one of the questions that we are bound to ask is, what's going on with Vanderbilt baseball, and they've struggled. They've lost 7 of their last 8, Mo?
7 of their last 8 in Southeastern Conference play. I think they beat Austin Peay during the midweek last week. But yeah, they lost their last 2 over at South Carolina. They got swept at home by Tennessee, and then they won Saturday at Auburn, but lost Friday and Sunday. So yeah, it's interesting stretch for the Commodores right now.
Yeah, and Tennessee getting ready for that Alabama team that has snuck into the top 25, by the way.
Well, it's funny. You go to Ole Miss and sweep there, and good things tend to happen. Ask UT.
Ask the Vols. That's correct.
So, yeah, that's what Alabama did this past weekend. They went over to Oxford and took 3 of 3 and got a little bump in the rankings. So,
Well, and if you subscribe to D1 baseball and they are kind of really the Bible as it pertains to rankings, especially. Tennessee has won 22 straight, I think, something like that. Miami has won double digits. I think they've won 13 in a row. And seeing Miami being good at baseball again does you good for the soul. I love when Miami's good at baseball.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this in college football in particular. There's just certain programs that it just feels right when they are playing well. And I think, like you said, for baseball, I think Miami is probably one of those. I mean, they are just there was a time where it almost felt like you could not hold a College World Series if Miami wasn't in Omaha. And so, maybe they're working their way back toward that prominence. I mean, the ACC is I wouldn't say it's on par with the SEC, but it is a very...
3 teams dropped out of the top 25 from the ACC this week, actually. FSU, NC State, and North Carolina, all 3 dropped out.
So who's in it? Miami and who else?
From the ACC, Virginia Tech.
North Carolina State?
No, they just dropped out.
Oh, my bad.
And Louisville, Virginia, and I guess is Notre Dame in the ACC.
Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know. I guess.
What week is it?
Anyway, let's go. Let's talk to Chris Lee because he's got way more important things to talk about than what conference Notre Dame is in.
Or if they're in a conference.
Or not in, I guess. Chris Lee of Southeastern 14 joins us now. Chris, what's going on?
Hey, I'm laughing at your conversation. There's so much truth there.
What conference is Notre Dame in for baseball, Chris? If anybody knows, I know it's you.
It would be the ACC.
So do they actually play conference baseball, or do they get an automatic to the NCAAs?
They play conference baseball. They must earn it.
Yeah, Atlantic Division.
Okay. All right. Don't get me started. Didn't we address this last week?
We've addressed
with
it.
Teams we most hate?
Yes.
Okay.
We've addressed it.
All right.
It's been addressed.
All right. Cool.
Chris, we wanted to talk to you because obviously, what are your thoughts on tonight's Tennessee Tech game using wood bats playing at the Smoky Stadium? Is Tennessee trying to lose?
I didn't know about the wooden bat thing of today. I think that's really cool. I wish you'd see more teams do that from time to time. I think that's a fun idea. I don't think I've ever seen it, and I've covered college baseball close to 20 years. I don't remember this happening before, but I think it's fun.
I don't think it's just fun. I think it's safe.
Well, yeah. Hey, look, I don't know if you saw what I wrote last week, but safety is the topic that if it's not being talked about enough, it needs to be talked about more.
The floor is the floor is yours, sir.
With me, well, I remember when our years overlapped on the Vanderbilt beat. Were you around for 2009?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You remember that year, don't you? I'm hearing a lot of the same stuff that I heard then.
That there is some tampering going on.
And I wrote about it last week. I spent 5 days doing an article. I got quotes from the NCAA, the SEC, and some different venues. But I'll just say go to southeastern14.com. It's our lead article, and I think this is a thing that I think people are starting to figure out a little bit, not to the extent that they should be, but I think we are at a very interesting time with equipment, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. All right. If you want to hear more about Chris's thoughts on that, visit southeastern14.com, as I am trying to do right now. Chris, what we wanted to ask you about coming off of the past weekend, we mentioned Vanderbilt has now lost 7 of their last 8 Southeastern Conference games. Tennessee obviously is being Tennessee. And as a Vanderbilt fan, and I'm not to discount your journalistic expertise, but I know where your allegiances lie. Which is tougher for the average Vanderbilt fan to take right now? That Vanderbilt is really struggling, or that Tennessee is really good?
I think, to me, listening to the fans, it's hard to separate the two right now because, let's be honest, they just overlapped 2 weekends ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Vanderbilt is winning, and say Vanderbilt's top 5 in the country, Tennessee becomes less of an issue. But it's harder to separate Tennessee because Tennessee's a threat to Vanderbilt right now. I mean, Tennessee beat Vanderbilt with a couple of kids from its own backyard. I don't think the question is as simple as you framed it, but certainly I think I've always thought there's room in this state for 2 great baseball programs. Looking at it through a Vanderbilt lens, I think that I don't think Vanderbilt fans would care for this either way,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it takes on a different degree with the fact they just dropped out of the top 25 this week, if that makes sense.
Makes perfectly good sense. And yeah, I'd agree with you, Chris. I think that there is room in this state for both Tennessee and Vanderbilt to be successful on the diamond. You mentioned that Tennessee is having the success that it's having with a couple of kids out of Vanderbilt's backyard, so to speak. I think Tennessee's backyard is a little bit bigger, or they certainly feel like it is, and so there's that. But I feel like it probably is a little bit more nuanced of a question than I framed it as. But bottom line, Tennessee sitting at number 1 and Vanderbilt nowhere to be found in this week's top 25 is a dynamic that certainly no Vanderbilt fan would have expected coming into the year.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw this coming. Tennessee has probably played the disrespect card, and I don't blame it for that. I'd probably do that too. But the fact is, you just don't see this, right? I mean, even elite programs have a hard time performing at this level. And by the way, I'd probably put Tennessee in that elite category now. If they're not there, they're getting there. But you know what I mean? Tennessee's not had this kind of track record that a Vanderbilt or an LSU or Florida's had. And even for those programs, like when you come off, like I'll look at Vanderbilt 2014, that team won a national title. That team won 5 of its 10 weekend series. It replaced most of its lineup. The answers came together at the end. You just don't see a team like this where it lost its 3 best infielders. It lost its 3 starters. And the one it didn't lose was Blade Tidwell, who nobody thought was going to pitch this year back in February. Now he's throwing some weekday and middle relief duties on the weekend and getting back, which makes him scarier. But you nobody does what Tennessee's doing. It is incredibly hard to perform at that level, much less replacing the players Tennessee replaced. I think everything pointed to, if you know the way the league usually works, you can kind of guess that to say, well, they were this last year, they lost that, they gained that. You can usually peg them in a range where you're pretty sure that it's going to fit at the end of the year. What they have done is mind-blowing, and I've never seen a team doing what they're doing right now.
As Chris and I mentioned, Tennessee hosting Alabama in a 3-game series this weekend. Number 24, Alabama, by the way. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt hosting 23rd ranked Florida this weekend. The Commodores, again, unranked. So, first of all, how does Vanderbilt go about righting its ship at this point?
That's funny. I just did an hour-long podcast where we had this topic, and the simple answer is it's not easy. I have seen some of Tim's teams do this before, where you get to the midseason point, you just don't know where this team is going. You're not even sure if it's good or great. You don't know what it is. And at the end of the season, he's pushed all the buttons, and they've won a national title or something like that. We've seen that happen before. I don't know. And the thing is that makes it so tough is I don't understand their offense right now, Mo. I don't get – you watch them 3 weeks ago, they're coming off They're on an 18-game winning streak, and number 18 was 10-0 over South Carolina in its building on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
A
think
pretty
at that
good
point
South
that what's
Carolina
coming,
team.
Well, an okay team. It's an up and down South Carolina team. They're I think 14 and 15, but they also took a series from Texas. So you never know with those guys. And that did not feel like the next step to this. State losses in SEC play, and the really weird thing is the one win in the middle of that was 19-4, which makes it a little bit harder to figure. The thing that I look at is I don't know. They pushed a lot of buttons with that lineup. Most of them aren't working right now. I still think really talented team. I mean, Spencer Jones, Dom Keegan, Enrique Bradfield Jr., all potential major leaguers one day. Carter Young, potential major leaguers. I don't know why it's not happening for them. And I've heard Tim hint at this at times. I'm not going to say every kid they've got's a brainiac, but they get a lot of smart kids. And sometimes smart kids tend to overthink things. And when you're thinking in sports, sometimes you're not playing. I wonder if that's an issue. I don't know. I don't have easy answers for you. Do I think this is a better team than, to be out of the top 25 right now? Yeah, I do. Is it beating anybody of consequence to a large degree? No, it's not. It's taken one game from Oklahoma State. It's taken one game from Auburn. Other than that, the quality wins aren't there. No, it's again, funny stuff can happen over baseball over 30 games. Based on history, I would expect them to get it right, but there's a lot more doubt at this point of the season than you usually have, and certainly a lot more doubt than you had 3 weeks ago.
Conversely, how does Alabama go in and stop Tennessee? One game.
Boy, that's a good question. All the talk about the bats, man, their arms are phenomenal. They got a potential first-round guy to school in Chase Burns. And he pitched like it, but it's not, it goes further than that. A lot of first-round arms don't pitch like first-round arms off the bat. He has. Drew Beam has been pitcher of the league in the year. It's crazy what he's done, the strike throwing that's been there. He's kind of changed from a guy that throws a lot of fly ball outs to when I saw him 2 weekends ago, just was getting one ground ball out after another. In the middle, you got Chase Stolander, I think a pitcher of the year candidate in this league, even though he had a rougher outing against Missouri. The rotation is one thing. I don't think anybody's got the depth of starting pitching in the league, maybe not in the country, the way they've got it. But then you look after that, man, and they've got Blade Tidwell, who is their best arm, no questions asked coming into the year. He's pitching in small spots right now. You talk about a heck of a break class in case of emergency plan. That's unbelievable. I mean, he would have been – Blake Tidwell might have been the preseason pitcher of the year in this league if he hadn't been hurt. And now he's maybe their fourth starter. They've got experience coming out the ears. They've got handedness. They've got guys who throw 104. They got guys who don't break 85 with control and good stuff. I just look everywhere on their pitching staff. I see the abundance of arms. I see the different ways they throw it, the different angles in which they throw it. And my goodness, right now, good luck beating them. But let's not forget Alabama just went to Ole Miss and won 3 and is playing pretty well. Tennessee is due at some point because you just do that in baseball. But when you look at how the machine was built from the pitching end, my goodness, that's about as good as I've seen.
Chris Lee of Southeastern 14 here on Main Street Sports Today. Chris, thanks for taking some time with us. As always, it is a pleasure and great insight. Looking forward to talking to you again soon.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a
You can find him, by the way, at Chris Lee 70 on Twitter and at 14 at 14 Southeastern. Great stuff they're putting out, including this article on the giant hole in the NCAA's bat inspection process, the safety hazard it creates, and the NCAA's reluctance to fix it. So check that out.
Yes, sir. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk to Bruno REAGAN. USFL kicks off this weekend. There's a lot of rule changes and unique stuff going on in the USFL this year. We'll talk about all of those things and, well, what does Bruno think about it? He'll be playing in those games with the weird rules, so let's ask him. Be back after this on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. It is a beautiful Tuesday here in southern Middle Tennessee, in Columbia. Hopefully, this weather will not continue through the weekend, but it's not looking great, at least for Saturday night in Birmingham, when the USFL is set to kick off, when the New Jersey Generals and the Birmingham Stallions play in the first game of the reignited United States Football League. They got some crazy and unique rules and technology innovations that they are planning to use this upcoming season. I'm looking forward to it. So I wanted to see if we could find somebody who might have some insight into all of the things going on in the USFL. So we reached back into the files and found a familiar name, the Tampa Bay Bandits offensive lineman and Nashville sports radio personality, the two-time verified champ, Bruno REAGAN, joins us now on the show. Bruno, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? Just here to have some fun.
Bruno kind of following in the footsteps of Jay Cutler, stepping out from between the headsets and back out onto the playing field here. After fashioning a pretty solid career in sports talk radio, Bruno back out on the gridiron with the Tampa Bay Bandits, not quite ready to let it go. And who could blame him? After the career that he had at Vanderbilt, after getting off to the start with the St. Louis Battlehawks of the XFL. I'm sure that there was an itch that remained unscratched for Bruno. So great opportunity to get back at it. Walk us through this last, I guess, 8 weeks or so, Bruno?
Yeah. When I first heard about the details of like the USFL, I was like, oh, no shot I'm playing football ever again. And then they were pretty forward with recruiting me into the league. I felt like they wanted me pretty decently, and I was tired because whenever I went to Vanderbilt, whenever I went to the XFL, I always started bottom of the roster, worked hard, earned my way up, and frankly, I was tired of having to I was tired of having to prove myself when I walked in day one and like the people that were in front of me couldn't read at a remedial level, and I was like, this is ridiculous. So I didn't want to have to do that. I was like, I didn't want to have to do this again. But luckily, I landed on with, an amazing staff. First of all, if I was on at least 5 of these other teams, I would have already driven back to Nashville. It would have been over with. But I'm on an amazing staff right now. The Tampa Bay Bandits, Todd Haley, the staff he's put together has been absolutely a pleasure to work with. It feels very professional. This is a whole new thing, and I expected it going in. Like you said, it's an itch. I was talking to my co-host Zach about like 3 weeks before I left, before I even committed to coming to the USFL. I was just like, man, I'm just so bored with like the day to day, So what better can you do than just go, I guess, try and compete at a high level. And this is the highest level that'll take me. So,
Bruno, I want to know. You said at least 5 teams. You want to name names right here?
Like, no, if you pull it out of a hat, it would be very. You probably could. Just I'm very lucky to be on the Tampa Bay Bandits. That's all I'll say, because I have buddies on the other teams, and they're telling me all the stuff they're doing, and it's just like, listen. There are teams here working, I guess when you say working hard, like that's great, but they're just, they're overdoing it for like, there are teams here working harder than NFL teams, which is all great and all. But if I had to run inside zone over 500 times in camp, who knows, I might jump off the hotel. So this is not for me. But we've gotten a lot of good work done here with our Tampa squad. So I'm really excited for this weekend.
And now, Bruno, that type feedback from other teams and that kind of thing, is it easier for you guys to compare notes because you're all right there in Birmingham?
Yeah, when it comes to like players just chopping up, it's easy to like, at least for the player experience. When it comes down to actually like knowing what we're preparing to like play against, like front formation, tendencies, not really. Like you figure like, oh, because we don't get the practice film with it. The only film we have of other teams right now is like the scrimmages. And I already know off the top of my head, there were teams out there with dudes that weigh 380 pounds playing 3 technique. And I was like, okay, this team's clearly a 3-down team, but they've only played 4 down during the scrimmage. These coaches, shout out to them. They're trying to get better coaching jobs. So they're like, oh, I'm going to hide all my things for week 1, but I know you're a 3-down team. Like, why are we playing? So there's not much good film out there right now. Having to watch 360-pound people play 3 technique was hilarious though. So I'm glad we have film of that. At least I can laugh at something. That's about where we're at right now. So it's all secretive, and we're gonna see what happens when we play this weekend. It's a big anxious mystery. You can tell the angst is through the roof with league executive, coaches. First of all, I cannot relate, but everyone is on the edge of their seat just trying to get ready for this game coming up against the unknowns.
Bruno, I'm really curious because there's a lot of unknowns with the rules and the technology. A lot of folks are very curious about the first down technology with the chips in the ball and using the yellow line from the television and that sort of thing. But, and I'm sure that you have no worry with that because, well, you're on the field. Why do you care? But, people are worried about it. But this is something we see a lot. Tennis uses this. Tennis uses the same type of technology to find out if the ball was inside the line or outside the line. So is this going to be something that could potentially revolutionize first downs in football?
I think we as a people give ourselves too much credit. Like when it comes to, listen, my dad is probably the worst driver on the planet, right? So when they come out with self-driving cars one day, he's going to buy one. I will make him buy one. And there's that mindset, right? Everyone's like, I would never have a car drive for me. What if it malfunctions? It's like I drive in Nashville traffic every single day for like 3 hours down to Murfreesboro, back to Clarksville, back to Nashville. I see how terrible human drivers are. I think people give themselves too much credit. So they're like, oh, the ball and the chip will mess up. No, it won't. And if it does, it'll be like a one-time thing and it'll be fixable. It's really not that big of a deal. I mean, when they told us, we were like, cool, like less people on the sideline to cloud it. That's basically it. So
that's cool. I think it's a great idea. I think the NFL uses chips for their StatCast. I mean, the chips work. But nonetheless, that's not the only rule changes. How has the kickoff rule been utilized during scrimmages? Have you guys had live kickoffs?
Yeah, we did some live kickoffs. It's going to be cool. I mean, seeing returns, there's nothing more boring than just starting every single drive at the 25 or 30 or whatever. I mean, 25, 25, 25, just because NFL kickers can just launch that thing back to the end zone. When you move it back a little bit, there's going to be some returns. I guarantee you some teams are going to mess it up, which is the best part. I love nothing more than when someone messes something up. I'm just thinking in the back of my head, like, that dude might be fired. Like, for some reason, it's just hilarious to me. So the chance for people to just absolutely mess up these special teams, because it's hard. Special teams is the hardest thing to learn in the shortest amount of time, because everyone thinks you get in and you're like, oh, I'm playing receiver, I'm catching. Well, there's a million. You got to learn how to punt, you got to learn how to kick block, you got to learn how to cover, you got to learn how to do all these things. And we had like a 2.5 week camp, so I'm really excited to see how these teams react to the pressure.
I thought you were Captain Chaos.
Bruno
if
is
you're
all about
Captain
it.
Chaos, then I don't know what's the next rank up.
I have no idea.
That's
Sergeant
guy, Bruno Reagan, Clarksville High School graduate.
Colonel Chaos.
Colonel Chaos. I like it.
You
Clarksville High graduate, Vanderbilt University graduate, former state wrestling champion, Bruno Reagan, with us here on Main Street Sports today.
Actually, sorry to interrupt you, but this is worth it. Commodore Chaos.
Oh, well done. Give him, yeah. That was worth it.
Okay.
Once you're a wrestling champion, Mo, are you ever a former wrestling champion? You're just the champ, aren't you, Bruno? At all you will forever be a champion.
Yeah, because no way in heck I'm ever gonna wrestle again. That stuff is way too hard. So.
Oh man, that's so good, Bruno. I'm looking forward to this weekend, man. I'm going to be down there Saturday night for the first game. I'm excited. I'm taking my dad as long as it doesn't thunderstorm, and yeah, I think we're all going to have a good time. So tell us about Birmingham. Are you staying out of trouble? Because I know there's so many things to get in trouble in Birmingham.
Oh yeah, I'm staying out of trouble mainly because I'm not a fan of the city at all. So I just sit in my hotel room all day. If there's something about Birmingham, listen, there's like massive construction going on everywhere, and somehow I feel like it's making it look worse, like when they're going to be done. So it's terrible to drive around. I'm just like, this is crazy. I've eaten at the same 4 restaurants that are outside my hotel just because I don't want to drive anywhere, because half the roads are one ways or broken. So I'm like, I went out one time to Chipotle. I tried to find Chipotle. I had to get on the highway for it, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
That was your first mistake.
Yeah. So I've been in the hotel just big chilling. Well, this is like my first day off in a little bit. So I'm glad I'm just
7th. Just go to Al's Mediterranean. Just trust me. Put it in the GPS. However you got to get there, just go. Just trust me.
Tell him again.
Al's Mediterranean.
Al's Mediterranean. I got you.
Yeah, it's where it's over. It's by UAB. It's where all
I will
UAB
say
folks hang out.
I do like I would rather be in the city, even though I don't like it that much, than be in than all this. Like, I like the bubble. I hate traveling. I cannot stand getting out, just the being hurdled around like a cow. I hate it. I wish I could just buy my own plane tickets to games, but you would obviously, like 20 dudes on the team would miss the flight, so that would never happen.
There's no question there.
So thankfully we're in a bubble, and I'm just going to be able to, I hope, drive to the game like an hour before play and then come right back. I love that. So.
Well, the Tampa Bay will finish out the first weekend. They will play at Pittsburgh. So you guys will be wearing you guys have road uniforms, right? You have white uniforms, so you'll be wearing road whites against the Maulers of Pittsburgh, which have the worst uniforms in the team.
Oh, without
in the league, without question. That will be at 7:00 Central, televised on FS1, or you can buy a ticket for $10. General admission is available to you, and it will be you guys are playing at Protective, right?
That's a good question. I have no
think
idea
he
what
is.
I have no idea what we're playing Sunday.
He's like, I don't know. I hope it's protected because then I don't have to drive to Legion Field.
Bruno, is your dad driving down for the game this weekend, or is your dad being driven down? Given your earlier
let's hope it's the latter.
Actually, I told my old man, like, just stay for the first week until, once I start getting into the groove, because we're going to be playing on Sunday. I have no idea what the Monday is going to look like after. I was like, just stay, watch, because he doesn't care about the game or the team or anything. He just wants to watch me. So I'm like, stay at home, watch it on TV for the first, just so you can watch, because it's better. It's better to, if you just want to watch me, it's better to just watch on TV and then come down the next week or whenever. I think we play on a Saturday within the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, you'll play Sunday next week, and then you get the Saturday, April 30th.
Yeah, I'd rather him down for a Saturday game. So
Sure.
if there's any time he needs to carve out, come down for the Saturday game because I'd want to hang out with him. Those Sunday games, they're different.
No doubt. So Saturday, again, the USFL kicks off 6:30 on NBC, Fox, and Peacock. If you're looking for it and you can't find it, then look differently because you're screwing up something. And that'll be the New Jersey Generals and Birmingham Stallions again. The Tampa Bay Bandits and Pittsburgh Maulers will kick off at 7 o'clock on FS1 Sunday. So triple header on Sunday should be a lot of fun if you're looking for spring football or if you're just trying to scratch that football itch like Bruno. Just turn on your television this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Bruno, thanks for taking some time with us, man. As always, it's a pleasure, and you're killing it, man.
I appreciate it. I sure hope so, because I'm tired. I'm glad at least it looks like something's happening. So
hang with him, big guy.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Again, the USFL is trying some new things. There is a glowing football on goal line situations because apparently you're not able to see the football in the pile, right, on television. So Fox said,
We'll fix that.
We'll fix it. Yeah. And I think it's a great idea. I mean, you want to – I mean, the cool thing is I hope these chips also are involved in the goal line so that we know when a ball crosses the plane or not. I mean, I think the first down technology is the best thing that's going to come out of this.
Yeah. Should be interesting.
It will
There's
be.
a lot of good stuff that hopefully someone will be paying attention to.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being there for that first game, but I'm also looking forward to watching the Sunday games on Easter Sunday on television because I think that I want to see what this broadcast really looks like. So should be interesting, should be fun. Again, USFL kicking off. When we come back, let's talk about the Atlanta Braves because we have to. So stick around on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Back after this. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best-looking girl, Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
All right, welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. It is the second half. We've got Chip Walters coming up, joining us in studio here momentarily. Should be a lot of fun. And we got JP moving cameras around, and it's always fun. We're going to talk about the Braves here for just a few minutes because we said we would. So each and every day when the Braves play, we're talking about them. And the first thing that we're going to do today is give you this day in Braves history. So Mo, tell them what happened in Braves history on April 12th.
On April 12th, 1955 specifically, Chuck Tanner, pinch hitting for Braves left-hander Warren Spahn, homered on the first major league pitch he saw from Jerry Staley, tying the score and sparking a 3-run rally in Milwaukee's 4-2 win over visiting Cincinnati. That's probably not where you know the name Chuck Tanner from, though. Following an 8-year Major League Baseball playing career, Tanner went on to win 1,352 games as a manager with the White Sox, A's, Pirates, and Braves. Bringing it full circle.
There you go. How about Chuck Tanner?
Let's first pitch, first home run. Looked pretty promising there. I think he hit 21 in 8 years.
So. Hey, everybody remembers that first one, though. Just ask Jason Hayward.
There you go. Yeah, no doubt.
We'll never forget that one.
You said when the Braves play, we're talking about them. Last night, I'm not sure if that
did they play
qualified as playing. That 11-2 rough loss to the Nats in the opening game of a 3-game series at Truist Park. Noah, I think we saw enough.
Yeah, you know, give him a hand, give him a daily dinger. One of the things that I struggled with over the last couple of days is just watching guys that we expected to be, you know, good enough,
not be good enough.
And
I don't want to make excuses for him necessarily, Chris, but it was a short ramp up coming out of the lockout, and I don't know how many of these guys.
It ain't affected the Reds or the Nationals. They had a short ramp up too, and guess what?
I don't know. I guess they're awful. Then I guess they're just awful.
Right now, they're not good. And that's not, I mean, it is what it is. I don't want to make excuses either, but the fact is that both teams dealt with the same spring.
You're right. I guess I'm not ready to denounce this team as not postseason worthy after 5 games. Yeah.
The problem that I see with this team is I don't think they're playing with. They're not having fun. They're not having as much fun,
which is a little surprising given the off season.
Nobody is having more fun than Matt Olson, but nobody's having as much fun as Matt Olson, and that's the problem. Which I mean, obviously he's hitting the ball like a madman right now, and nobody else is. Everybody else is kind of struggling. But when they get loose, when they start playing loose, that's when this team gets better.
I mean, I don't know what the temps have been in Atlanta, but there have been some balls that look like home runs off the bat, Chip Carey notwithstanding, that didn't get out, man. And I don't know what's holding those down. You know, we talked to Rick Sweet when we were down at First Horizon about wind currents and that kind of thing. I don't know if something's changed around the stadium, but balls aren't flying.
I didn't see anything new when I was down there, but
that ball Orlando Arcia hit last night,
absolutely should have been a home run. Absolutely. I mean,
I just said it. 5-3, 6-3, whatever the score was going to be after that 2-run home run, and it didn't even make the warning track.
I was a little surprised that it took until Darno on Sunday to get one out of the chop house. I mean, with as hard as left-handers have hit the ball for the Braves, track power's all they've had. And conversely, 70-mile-an-hour base hits for the opposing team. It just feels like everything kind of the same thing as last year. This Braves team, everything that can go wrong is going wrong. And eventually, that's going to turn around. Dansby Swanson's not going to strike out 10 out of 15 times throughout the year.
I hope he's not, because I hope he's not going to get the opportunity for a whole lot longer, to be honest. I mean,
if Arcia keeps hitting the way that he's hitting, he may be the new everyday shortstop.
If not every day, I mean, at some point, maybe we need to get Dansby a break, get him out of his head a little bit. Because, I mean, 10 strikeouts and 15 ABs.
That's scary.
Whether that's the start of the year, whether that's the end of the year, or anything in between, that's not a good stretch.
It's bad.
But he's back in the starting lineup tonight.
But we saw Austin Riley almost as bad in April last year and became an MVP candidate. So who knows, man? Again, it's game 5. I get that. The Braves are 2-3. The starting pitching hasn't been great outside of Charlie Morton at any point. It felt like the strike zone was just nowhere. The pitchers were throwing nowhere near the strike zone at times. That being said, a lot of good things coming from Spencer Strider. You've got to be happy with
Kyle Wright. Wasn't bad.
You got to be happy with Kyle Wright. You've got to be happy with Strider. You have to look for the bright spots, because here's the thing. The Braves have so many pitchers right now that when they go to a 5-man rotation, they're going to have the right 5. And once they get there, it's going to be scary, because by that time you expect to see Ronald Acuna Jr. in the lineup, which changes your outfield, which has been dreadful defensively. I mean, Marcell Ozuna has been a problem.
And Marcell Ozuna's arm has been a problem, and that wasn't
nobody expected that. Yeah, no, it's not like anybody expected that at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, once you get that lineup fixed, you get the starting rotation fixed, you get your long relievers. Sean Newcomb's no longer a part of this team. Hopefully, I think it's going to get better. It's frustrating, because you're sitting there going, okay, we're wearing these gold uniforms. And we're not playing like a team that should be wearing gold uniforms.
Well, again, we're 5 games into a 162-game season also. So just pump the brakes just a little bit, as JP was trying to tell us last summer. So, second game of a 3-game series tonight, the Nats at Truist Field against the Braves, coming in with matching 2-3 records. That game, first pitch, 6:20 on Bally Sports South. Patrick Corbin goes to the bump for the Nats, 0-1 with a 4.50 ERA. Bryce Elder making his major league debut after the Braves burned
Not Bruce, Chip.
After the Braves burned through both Huascar Ynoa and Tucker Davidson last night. So Elder up from Gwinnett, added to the 40-man roster, and he will make his debut tonight, and hopefully we will give up fewer than 11 runs.
Hopefully we'll score more than 2.
That too.
I'd like to hit the ball occasionally.
I think it's going to take both.
Get some wins.
To be successful tonight.
Yeah, no question. All right. Let's take a quick break, JP, and bring Chip Walters into the fold as he sits in studio with us today, joining us here in the Dimple.
Special guest
in studio. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, returns after this.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
Other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Incredibly sad news coming out of the camp of Gilbert Gottfried today. Gilbert Gottfried passed away after a long illness. Probably one of the most iconic voices in comedy and television.
And Google Sidney Bernstein if you want to just laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was his character in Beverly Hills Cop 2, and if you've seen the movie, then you remember the traffic ticket scene, and if you don't, it's a treat.
Yeah, no question. All right, let's talk some Blue Raider sports as we bring in the voice of the Blue Raiders, Chip Walters, who sits in our studio today, and that was awesome. I hope you will clip that out.
Hope you heard that.
Chip, you are in the Dimple today. What brings you to the Columbia?
Oh, obviously to see you guys. That was clearly that's the main reason.
Motivation.
Clearly. Also, I was asked by David Holt out at Central High School to come speak to his Broadcasting 1 class, and was out there, and it worked out. The timing was good, 1:30 to 2:30 there, and then slide on in to West 7th Street here to see you guys. And
your old stomping grounds.
Yeah, I'm trying to think when the last time I was in this building, and as I came through the front door, looking to the left and the right, nothing is as it was.
Oh, wow.
The last time I was. I mean, when I first came in the front door to the left, that was the automation room forever, then the AM studio, and then you had the boss's office on the right, which I think that's still probably the same. But but up here, I'm not sure I've ever been up the stairs, and but here I am upstairs with you guys.
Well,
we appreciate it.
I went for the longest without coming up the stairs, but then things changed.
I understand.
Yeah, so here we be. Broadcast 1. How many broadcast classes are there? I'm just curious.
I think there's 2, okay. 2 years of it, and let me tell you, I mean, his first year kids in high school, which are sophomores, maybe some juniors, but they are putting out stuff that we would have been proud of after I got to college. I mean, it's incredible what in the Broadcast 2 students do, the live events that they do, and I say all, the things that the Broadcast 1 students are doing are non-live, editing packages. Right now they're doing a project where they're taking a movie trailer and changing it. Like, for instance, if they took a comedy movie trailer, they're turning it by using music and re-editing, making it into like a horror film,
That's good.
And so that's pretty good. Pretty good. That takes some creativity, and they're working on that right now. So it was fun to share some experiences and be reminded just exactly how old I am now. So of the things because of the things they have at their fingertips that we never even dreamed of back in the day.
All right. I wish I could go back. There is a trailer or the intro of our broadcast, Eagle Vision News from 2004, my senior year. We had a broadcast, where we did the morning announcements, right? But it was on YouTube at one point. I want to go find it because you go look at what they're doing now versus what we did, and we're like, my goodness, these kids could step in right now and outdo all of us.
Oh, I mean, they were. When the first time we ever dealt with green screen and chroma key stuff, it was like magic was happening.
Absolutely.
And now they're just whipping stuff out. There was a young lady working on a project with green screen today while we were there, and I'm just, okay, congratulations.
It's really incredible.
Yeah.
We would invite some of them in to intern with us, but they'd probably embarrass us. So.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. Chip, I saw a tweet earlier today from Conference USA regarding track and field athletes of the week, and MTSU has one. Abigail Quartang?
I think that's correct. Okay. And see, they were at the Vanderbilt Invitational. No, they were in Tennessee, in Knoxville.
Tennessee Relays, I believe. Yeah.
Yep. And she set a personal best in her discipline, and so it's the message there to a lot of us is, yes, track does go on after Dean Hayes, and just shows you what an excellent job Keith Vroman has done in recruiting and bringing kids along, and now this they had good finishes. Didn't win the league on either side in the indoor season, but the outdoor season is well underway, and we're within 2 weeks, I guess, of that happening, or a week within the conference meet, because I do know that 2 weeks from Thursday night will be the Raiders' Choice Awards, and we typically have just heard how the outdoor meet had finished when we do those awards. So that's coming up.
Quartang up at the UT Relays, as you said,
triple jump, wasn't it?
Well, all the jumps. She had a personal best of 12.79 meters in the long jump, and
that's 30-something feet.
And her third best jump would have won the meet.
Oh, really?
All three of her legal jumps were better than anyone else's at the meet. In the high jump, she had a 1.83, which would be number 2 in the conference to her 1.84 earlier this year. And her triple jump from the weekend is the 30th nationally.
That ain't bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty good weekend for Miss Quartang up in Knoxville. So congrats to her. This is the second time she's been named Conference USA Field Athlete of the Week.
Yep. So absolutely. And, that tradition, just a tradition unlike any other.
Didn't hear that any this weekend, did we?
No.
Yeah. What else in the borough, sir?
Let's talk about baseball, because the Sunday sweep was Jaden Ham with 6 strikeouts to help get that first win, along with Eric Swan. And then Peyton Wigginton, he just does Peyton Wigginton things.
P. Wiggy.
Wow, and he was so tough on Sunday afternoon and played 2 sevens. Middle had to play catch up all Friday. The wind was blowing out. They play in a small park up there. You get it up in the air, and it was getting out, and Middle just couldn't get out of tough spots. Then they decided to not play Saturday and play a doubleheader on Sunday, and had a pitcher's duel kind of to win the first one, and then came back and got Peyton Wigington rolling. And when he gets his stuff going, he's pretty doggone tough. And you mentioned Jaden Ham, the class I just spoke to. His sister Riley was in the class, and she came up and said, "You probably know my brother." And I said, who's that? She said, Jaden Ham. I said, well, he's pitching good right now.
Yeah, he really is. Again, 6 strikeouts on Sunday. He and Eric Swan combined for the 1-run game 1. So big wins. That's kind of, baseball's been rolling. I mean,
Well,
they go down to Auburn, get a series win against a team that just beat Vanderbilt in a
2
series.
or 3,
So
yeah.
that right there just shows you this is a really good baseball team.
Yeah, they did that, and then they opened the conference season with Old Dominion, and Old Dominion came into that weekend 13-1, and took 2 out of 3 in Murfreesboro. But since then, Middle has won series at UAB, home against Western, and now another road series at this weekend, Marshall. And then they're coming home for Charlotte in what will be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series against the 49ers. And ironically, the Old Dominion team that was 13-1, they're now 16-8. And Middle's in a 4-way tie for 3rd in Conference USA right now, and Old Dominion is behind them. So they were like ranked top 25, and all of a sudden the wheels have fallen off for the Monarchs.
Middle 7-3 over their last 10 games since dropping those 2 of 3 to ODU, including in that 8-4 win up at Cookeville a couple of weeks ago.
Got one this afternoon at Lipscomb.
Jeff Forehand's bunch.
Yep.
So, okay.
Yeah, Southern Miss currently in the top spot, but UAB, UTSA, and Florida Atlantic tied with Middle for that number 3 spot. So this is going to come down to the wire for the remainder of the season. I mean, again, though, right now, Middle playing as good as they've played all year long. So you got to be excited if you're a Blue Raider baseball fan.
Yep, and they've had a couple of games rained out. They had a home game with Memphis. They're still trying to find a date for that. They had a rain out at Alabama. They're still trying to work on. Not sure if those will, as you get later in the season, you're just squeezing dates. And that you have softball is playing. They won a series at FIU over the weekend, so they're going to be at home this week. Football is winding up spring practice. They will have an open practice, no real game, but an open practice on Saturday at 10:30 in the stadium. So just show up, and there may be some other fun little things to go along with that. I'm sure the coaching staff will come up with some things that'll make that interesting.
So after 3 weeks ago? No, I guess it's been longer than that. Almost 6 weeks ago, I guess, when we talked about Conference USA's football situation.
The new schedule's out.
The new schedule is out, and
minus a few folks.
Yeah, it looks like, what is it, an 8-game or a 9-game?
It's an 8-game.
8-game conference schedule because there's only 9 teams, right?
That's correct.
So it'll be a round robin schedule. That's always good.
So everybody plays everybody.
Will there be a conference championship game?
That's interesting. I can't tell you the answer to that right now, whether that'll be the case or not. Actually, there's 11 schools right now
playing football.
And you won't. What you did is previously you made up your 8-game schedule from 13 opponents. Now you make up your 8-game schedule out of 10 different opponents.
Okay.
So there's that. What I think will probably happen in basketball is I think you will, and I don't know this, knock on wood, whatever. What I think you're going to see is a 20-game double round robin schedule in basketball, going from an 18 to a 20, but you would have a true double round robin.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. I don't think that's a bad thing either.
But is that just for 1 year? Because next year,
yes, it will be for 1 year, 5 that will go to the American. You'll lose Charlotte, FAU, North Texas, Rice,
and
UAB. You will then gain at the same time Liberty, Jacksonville State, New Mexico State, and Sam Houston. So you'll lose 5 games.
That's when it's 9 teams.
Correct.
That's what I was thinking.
Correct. That's right.
So it'll be 9 teams next year, barring any unforeseen
That's when you're talking about 23 for that. Yes.
Barring any unforeseen additions to the conference between now and then, it'll be
or subtractions from the conference.
I mean, let's hope not. Although Western certainly is probably still shopping themselves, if I had to guess.
But what that did to the schedule is you already have a your non-conference schedule did not change.
Right.
You open up at James Madison, then Colorado State, then home against Tennessee State, and then you go to Miami. The part that gets a little dicey. Then you go into your conference season, and your first 3 are UTSA, who went 11-1 last year.
Yeah.
Then you go to UAB.
That's never fun.
And home for Western Kentucky. Let me make sure I got. Yeah, that's right.
That is a tough 3-game stretch right there after coming off of Miami.
Yeah, then you have to play those 3, and then at that point you go to UTEP, which that's another. They had their best year. It's a great trip for fans, but they had their best year in a dozen years last year. And then you roll out to
La Tech with their new coach.
You go to La Tech, come home for Charlotte, and then you're home for FAU before going to FIU. So you end up playing 4 games in the month of November. And the only time you have back-to-back home games all year is in November when you have Charlotte and FAU. And that just goes to show that in any league you play in, it doesn't matter whether it's Power 5, Group of 5, or any other league, your league is tough. Mm-hmm. And no matter what league you play in, and especially when you go on the road, it's always tough. And you hope that you make it tough on those coming in to your place as well. So that's what it's all about.
Chip, that was fun. Thank you for coming in. Well, if you want to stick around, we are going to be giving our top 5 most iconic numbers in sports. So you can certainly stick around and chime in anytime you feel free, but always good to talk Middle Tennessee State.
Well, I appreciate it, and it's, like I said, good to be back in the hometown today for a bit. And I'm going to slide out the door and head back across. I've got another function coming up in about an hour in Murfreesboro. So it's a busy day.
It is a busy day, but we appreciate it. As always, Chip Walters.
At Choose Chip.
At Choose Chip on Twitter. Not Chip_Walters. He lost the password to that one.
Got hacked. Yeah.
So, yeah, somebody else has the password to that one.
Oh.
Come back with us here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Iconic sports numbers, our top 5 after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports.
Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. The final segment here on Main Street Sports Day presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. We will most certainly go past 3:30 today, as you know, we had 3 guests today. That's going to happen. And you know, great guests. Absolutely fantastic segments. Go back and listen if you want to hear more about SEC baseball. Chris Lee of Southeastern 14 joined us. Bruno REAGAN came on to talk about the USFL and their kickoff this weekend. Of course, we just had Chip Walters here in studio. All of that will be available on our special guest podcast, so make sure to check that out if you have an interest. Right now, though, we're going to go to our Top 5 segment. Top 5 Tuesday brought to you by Mid-South 5 Fitness. That's Dallas still in the game. Mid-South 5 Fitness. 2 great locations, one here in Columbia, the other in Franklin. Check them out at steelathletes.com. That's STEEL athletes.com, or Steel Athletes on Instagram at Steel Athletes. So, again, Dallas Steel. Speaking of track and field, appreciate his support from Mid-South 5 Fitness here on Main Street Sports today. Now, the top 5 most iconic numbers in sports. Now, to clarify, these are not just jersey numbers. These are just numbers that are iconic in the world of sports.
Iconic numbers. Okay.
I'm curious if maybe we want to just give the number and have each other guess
I like
as to
that.
what it's
I like that.
We can do
pertaining
that.
to. So, yeah, I think this is a good idea. I think there will be certainly some
I think there will be some overlap, and I think some of them will be pretty obvious. But yeah,
perhaps. So, JP, you got your 5?
I do.
All right, let's let him start today.
let's
What do you
let
say?
him start.
All right, so you still want me to
Just
count down?
Give me the
Yeah,
number.
start at number 5.
All right, we'll go with 44.
Hank Aaron.
I know this is taking yes.
Is it Hank Aaron? I mean, there are other 44s,
Yeah.
but that's the first 44 that I think of.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep, 44 Hank Aaron.
All right. My number 5 is 2,632.
Is that
Cal
Cal
Ripken's-
Ripken
yeah.
Street?
Consecutive games played streak. Okay. My number 5, and we discussed it in the building yesterday, 102,455.
Tennessee's former capacity for Neyland Stadium.
Neyland Stadium.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Number 4.
Number 4, we'll go with, we'll stick in the same frame, 755.
Hank Aaron.
Total home runs.
Yep.
Okay.
My number 4 is 2,000.
Rushing yards for a running back in the NFL
Is that
as a benchmark.
as a benchmark?
That's
yeah.
correct.
Yep.
NFL rushing yard benchmark.
That one almost made my list.
I mean,
It ran through
so
my
few
head.
people have done it that it's. I mean, yeah. I mean, you hit 2,000 yards.
2,000.
it's-
Yep.
You've done something.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even in 17 games.
Sure.
Which no one reached this year.
No one reached in
Despite 17 games.
That's correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marlon Mack, by the way, headed to the Houston Texans. That's not my favorite thing to hear today. But also Anthony Ferkser going to the Titans Southeast for the will play with the Atlanta Falcons. So Titans. You remember like NCAA football? It was like FCS Southeast. That's basically what the
Okay.
what the Falcons are.
That's
Anyway,
where-
continue. Number 4, Mo.
My number 4 is 2632.
Oh, Cal Ripken. There you go.
Okay.
Number 3,
Number
All right,
3, JP.
number 3, 42.
Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, mine are pretty simple.
That's fine. That's
Pretty,
okay.
pretty obvious. But, that's the whole point of this thing, right?
I mean,
They're
you
iconic.
kind of want them to be obvious. I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise
They're
they're
not
not
iconic.
really iconic.
They shouldn't be on the list.
Yeah.
My number 3 is 56.
Joe DiMaggio's
No.
56. No, not 56
Lawrence
game hitting
Taylor?
streak.
No.
Oh, what?
Of course it's Lawrence Taylor. No, I'm kidding. It's Judge Michael.
Okay.
It's the hit streak.
Wow.
Of course it's Lawrence Taylor because don't smoke crack.
All right.
Which brings me to my next point.
My number 3 is also 56, and it's not Lawrence Taylor either. Yeah.
Okay.
Joe DiMaggio's 56 game hit streak that will not be broken.
Ever.
Yeah.
Although Dan Ugla tried real hard. What did he get to, like 30?
He got
close to
30.
We've seen
He was upwards of 30.
Didn't we see a 40?
Pete Rose got to 44 before losing it against the Braves.
Of course he
Maybe
did.
that was
The
it.
terrible Braves. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they stopped that streak. 56 is my number 2.
Now, look at there. Number 2 for me is 100.
Oh, Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points.
That's it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that one. That's out there. Yep.
Wilt's points, 100.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
We're at number 2,
Number 2.
44.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, JP? I have no idea. Very
Coming from
confused.
Mo. Wonder.
Oh, by the way, Dan Ugla's hitting streak was 33.
What number? What number was he wearing the other day? 54 or whatever.
Yeah, 54.
That's
the
my
Sounds.
honorable mention. Is the Sounds 54
Sounds
jersey.
pitching coach Bruce Tanner. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Pitching coach.
All right, number 1, JP.
All right, number 1, 23.
Oh,
Shows you
Okay.
the era I grew up in.
not 45, huh?
Not 45.
23.
Not, yeah, 23.
Now, is that LeBron James 23 or is that Michael? Or is that Kobe Bryant
Bryant's
23 or is that Michael Jordan 23? Which 23 are we
Bubba
talking
Wallace.
about
Iconic, baby.
here? You know,
Ronnie McMahon's 23.
hey, give yourself a ding.
Mm-hmm.
Daily Dinger.
Yeah. Mac will appreciate
Yeah.
that.
My number 1,
3?
Junior.
Raise
I
hell,
mean,
praise Dale,
not junior,
baby.
but the original senior.
Raise hell, praise Dale, and of course Babe Ruth.
Yeah, Babe Ruth. Yeah, 3 was.
In that order.
Absolutely in that order.
Yeah.
Well, he's from Alabama, so.
Right.
Intimidator.
Okay, so my number 1 is 755, but I have to give an honorable mention to 43.
43, Richard Petty.
Richard the
King
King.
Richard. Yes, sir.
King.
Or 200 for his 200 wins.
Yeah.
Speaking of records that will never be broken.
Yeah, there's no question. Yeah, that one will never be broken. But it's interesting because obviously we were going to have some overlap, and I tried to keep Hank Aaron off of it because I knew Mo was going to go
Yeah.
there. So I tried to just go completely opposite. But yeah, so I think all of our numbers, we all knew what they were,
Yeah.
which I think just goes to show the
That they are.
iconic.
Yeah.
So we passed
stature.
the test.
We did, in fact. All right. That's going to do it for Main Street Sports today on this Tuesday edition. Top 5 Tuesday brought to you by Mid-South 5 Fitness. Tomorrow, Mo, have you got our guest list?
Tomorrow, we have
Heather Williams, obviously.
We have Heather Williams talking a little NASCAR, and we have, I've got the list. I swear I do.
That's it right there, ain't it? On the other side?
No, this is another.
That's last week's list.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
It's no good.
We have Pete Weber.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
That's fantastic. Pete Weber will join us. We'll talk about the Preds, who certainly need to get a win tonight against the San Jose Sharks.
Pete Weber on a Turret Wednesday.
Turret-
Little inside.
No
we'll
doubt
explain
there.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Again, go back, listen to those great guests we had today. Get some insight from the experts. We'll come back tomorrow and hopefully be celebrating a Braves win, Mo. 2:00, same bat time, same bat channel. Again, for JP and Mo, I'm Chris Yao. Have a great day. See you then.